from downtown Spokane, this is 4 News Now, Special Edition.
The jury has made a finding that it would be appropriate to impose the death penalty as it relates to counts 1 through 6.
This morning, an Idaho court sentenced doomsday prophet Chad Daybell to death. Thanks for being with us here on a special edition of 4 News Now. I'm Jordan Smith. On Thursday, Daybell was convicted of first-degree murder and conspiracy to commit murder in the deaths of his first wife, Tammy Daybell, 16-year-old Tylee Ryan, and 7-year-old JJ Vallow. Daybell's current wife and mother to Tylee and JJ, Lori Vallow, is currently serving a life sentence without the possibility of parole for the murder of her children and conspiring to kill Tammy. This verdict was 5 years in the making. The missing children made national headlines in 2019 when Lori refused to tell police where her children were, then was caught with her on her honeymoon with Chad in Hawaii, both refusing to confirm that the children were safe. The children's bodies were found in shallow graves on Daybell's Idaho property a year later. The prosecution in this case claimed Daybell was fueled by power, sex, money, and apocalyptic spiritual beliefs that the children were possessed. The jury deliberated for about 2 hours this morning before returning to the courtroom with the death penalty recommendation. The death penalty in Idaho has a complicated history, including a recent failed attempt to lethally inject the state's longest-serving death row inmate. In February of this year, convicted serial killer Thomas Creech was not executed as planned. According to the Idaho Department of Corrections, the medical team on site was unable to establish an IV line necessary for the lethal injection execution. For about 45 minutes, staff attempted 8 different incisions, beginning at Creech's right arm, eventually ending at his legs. The state of Idaho has been considering what to do next. The director of the Idaho Department of Corrections said that while the state recently legalized the firing squad method of execution, they don't yet have the physical capability to pull it off, noting that a firing squad could only be used if chemicals could not be acquired. Well, here in Washington, your favorite takeout meal might come in a different container moving forward. Washington's ban on styrofoam went into effect today. Local businesses like Little Noodle in the Garland district say this is a big deal. About 60% of their orders are takeout, and most of them are placed in styrofoam containers. While the restaurant's owner is glad that these will be better for the environment, the added cost isn't great for business.
You figure we make those orders at least once a week. So talking about a hike in almost $200 each week.
And this, coupled with the state's recent raise in minimum wage, is adding a financial strain that could be passed on to customers. The Department of Ecology says it'll be on the lookout for businesses that don't comply with this new ban. Well, Mark Peterson joins us here on the Weekend Crew. Mark, what can you tell us about the weekend forecast?
We've got some big changes coming our way. First of all, temperature-wise, it's very mild. We're sitting at 68 degrees, and over into Coeur d'Alene, you're at 64 degrees. Winds are light, but we've had the clouds all day long. Now, there are changes heading our way. Here's a look at the 4 things you need to know. Clouds are mild tonight, but rain moving in Sunday afternoon, potentially as early as 11 a.m., very wet through Monday, and then stormy Monday afternoon. We could see some thunderstorm activity. So right now we're sitting at 71 downtown, 66 in Deer Park, 71 in Liberty Lake. Yeah, really, it's pretty nice. But we will see changes coming our way in the fact that we're going to have the rain moves out of Idaho tonight, and then rain moves in for tomorrow for us. So overnight, things are looking pretty good. We're going to be 8 o'clock, about 66 degrees. We're going to be 58 at midnight. Windows open, allowing some of that fresh air in overnight. Tomorrow morning, it's going to be 55, and we're going to be back into the mid-60s tomorrow. But here's what's coming up, a very wet pattern. We're going to talk about when that starts, how long it's going to last, and well, we've got some other surprises for next week that I think some people are really going to enjoy. That's all coming up.
You know, why did they let him out of jail? Shooting somebody. Well, he could have shot me.
An 83-year-old man who was brutally attacked by a teenager downtown is sharing his story. And the suspect, 18-year-old Richard Smith, was charged in connection to a downtown shooting just 3 months ago. Larry Curtis, who you just saw on screen there, told me that he was using a mailbox on 3rd and Monroe when he says a group of young men violently assaulted him. After the attack, the gas station across the street captured Smith running away from the scene. Curtis was left behind with a broken wrist, broken ribs, a broken nose, and some teeth knocked out. We asked him what he'd say to his attackers if he had the chance.
I had 4 boys, and every one of them didn't do this. And they were bigger than me. So let's talk down. You must not have a father and mother. Let me be your father. Let me teach you something. Come over to my house and have barbecues.
And Smith wasn't in jail because he posted bond for his assault charges related to that shooting back in February. He made his first appearance in court Friday afternoon, where the judge raised that original bond to $250,000. His bond for the assault on Curtis, another $100,000. The hearing for a change in venue in the University of Idaho murders case has been delayed. It was originally supposed to take place at the end of June, but it's now scheduled for August 29th. Brian Koberger's lawyers asked for the hearing to be delayed so they could review the answers from their potential juror survey. For months, the defense has been pushing for the trial to be moved out of Latah County. His lawyers are arguing an impartial jury cannot be found there due to the massive amount of media attention this case has received. Today is the first day of Pride Month. To kick off the celebration here in the Inland Northwest, Pride in the Park was held in Coeur d'Alene. Hunter Bertram brings us more from the annual celebration.
Jordan, just beyond the shores of Lake Coeur d'Alene is a park that's filled with love and acceptance in Coeur d'Alene.
I didn't think that there was going to be this many people that genuinely would be so loving and supportive.
Hundreds took to this park, covering it in bubbles, smiles, and of course, everything rainbow. And that even goes for the cornhole.
Just really exciting, and just being here gives you a sense of happiness and just connection with the community.
Ren is from the area and tells me CDA Pride is a hand to hold in a world where many can feel isolated.
Especially living in North Idaho, you don't feel like you have a lot of people to kind of be yourself with if you're part of the LGBTQ community. And just being able to know that there's so many people here that support you, it allows you to feel like you can actually be yourself.
Ren said it's hard being yourself while this is happening next to the park. Coeur d'Alene Pride has a history of opposition, which is why you'll find police surveillance and safety volunteers throughout the park.
I don't really pay them any mind because they're going to believe in what they believe in, and to me that's okay, but I'm going to stick to my values.
And that's what many did at Pride, instead choosing to embrace one another and celebrate the grit of this community. From vibrant outfits of color to Ren's bisexual flag-inspired eye makeup, it is a day to share love.
Make sure if you have any LGBTQ friends, make sure to support them and love them because you could be saving a life. And if you yourself are LGBTQ, you always matter.
All right, well, we had clouds today. There was no doubt about that. We still have the cloud cover. We are going to see those clouds turn to rain, and then we're going to be talking about some real heat. That's coming our way. Coming your way.
Download the KXLY Plus app on your connected TV.
Join us for the Medellin Falls Bigfoot Festival, June 15th and 16th.
If you want to shine this summer and say goodbye to that winter weight, then this week is the perfect time to join Move Fitness and get started on a new workout routine to get you sculpted for the swimsuit season. Move Fitness.
A huge part of many people's lives is debt, and it's just not something a lot of people like to talk about. A couple of years ago, I was diagnosed with cancer. During the healing process, I really accrued a lot more debt, and I knew I needed to find a solution. I went into BCU full of nerves and full of fear, and they helped me immensely. I realized the personal loan was the right option for me. These days, I am healthy, I have all my finances under control, and I'm a lot less stressed.
Idaho gets almost half of its energy from water. And irrigation water sustains our crops. Our water is in danger. Invasive quagga mussels threaten our way of life. Help keep our water flowing for our crops, for our energy, and for our recreation. It's up to us to clean, drain, dry.
Summer's here, and with a new Toyota, you can capture all the moments that make summer, summer. Like driving a RAV4 to wade in a waterfall.
Nice.
Cruising to play mini golf in a Camry. Or taking a Tundra to the beach.
You're not gonna leave me here, are you?
Right now, lease a new 2024 Tundra for just $549 per month. See your local Toyota dealer or visit Toyota.com to learn more.
Your summer starts here.
Toyota, let's go places.
On Good Morning Northwest, we say a lot more than just good morning.
We're talking about planning your day with your family in mind. Oh, by the way, bring a coat to soccer practice this afternoon.
Following breaking news and getting you the information you need. Plus, taking a deeper look into the issues that matter most to you.
You expect more than just a good morning from us, and we know that. Join us every weekday for breaking news
and weather on Good Morning Northwest.
Expect even more from KXLY Plus. Live updates from the 4 News Now team. Breaking news as it happens. Weather every 10 minutes. Free on your time. Download the app, connect to your streaming TV, and connect on KXLY Plus.
Well, good afternoon. It has been a cloudy day, but it's been a mild day. We've had beautiful sun breaks. 72 for the high, 69 to Coeur d'Alene, really mild. 74 into Ritzville, and of course, you get down St. Mary's, Pullman, 70, but 80 into Lewiston. Here is tonight's forecast. In our region, we're going to have temperatures down to about 50 degrees. Going to be cloudy. It's going to be mild. Winds are going to be light. Things are looking pretty good. For tomorrow, all right, things are going to change a little bit. Going to get cooler, going to get breezy, 65 degrees for the high. Rain moving in as early as potentially 11 a.m. I'll show you that in a minute. Southwest winds 5 to 15, gusts to 25, and then kick in the rain. So the rain gear, and if you're golfing tomorrow, you should have rain gear. If you're doing anything tomorrow, you should have rain gear. Here we go. We track the pattern coming in. A cooler airflow coming in out of Canada. Barometric pressure starts to fall. We see this build in. The Cascades, Washington, Seattle, Washington. Okay, so you're going to see a lot of rain on the Washington coast all the way down through parts of Oregon. It's going to roll in. This atmospheric river is going to be right over the top of us temporarily. We'll see this rain really kick in for us anywhere from 11, 12 o'clock into the afternoon, solid rain, and we're going to have the rain showers at the higher elevations. We get a bit of a break, and then we see it again Tuesday. So Monday afternoon, we're expecting scattered showers, and then Tuesday, hit and miss, more showers into the mountains. So we look at the forecast radar as we build into this, and we're going to have, again, the clouds overnight, Sunday, 10, 11 o'clock. Now we start to see that build in. Now we have fairly good humidity right now, so it won't take that long. We're going to see that roll over us throughout the day. By Sunday, 5 o'clock, we still should see rain. Not expecting heavy rain, but consistent rain. This will continue to build, and we're going to have up to, in some areas, 3/4 of an inch. That's a lot of rain for us. By 7 a.m., we start to see that taper off, break around, and then we have scattered showers after that. With Monday evening, we get that chance of thunderstorm activity, and then by Monday night, really, we're looking at a drier pattern. Windy conditions coming in with this. So by Sunday, we're going to have winds 10, 15 miles an hour. But we get later on in the day and into Monday especially, and that's when we really start to see those winds gusting in excess of 15, 20, 25 miles an hour associated with, again, some of that thunderstorm activity. So tomorrow, we're going to be cooler than today. We're going to be at 65 degrees. We'll see that into Ritzville, 71 into the Tri-Cities. Again, everybody's seeing some rain. We won't see the rain shadow for our area until Monday afternoon, and that'll affect the Central Basin. So when we look at our wet weather chances, Sunday, yeah, we're looking at rain. That's going to build through Monday. We're going to have the rain showers, and then about a 30% chance on Tuesday, and then we dry out. But here's where we see some changes. All right, so 65 for tomorrow, and we're going to see that come in, right, 10, 11, 12 o'clock. We're going to see that throughout the afternoon, into the evening, through Monday morning with some Monday afternoon thunderstorm potential, 63 degrees. And then Tuesday, 66. But what I'm hiding behind my back are these temperatures that are going to be in the mid-70s midweek. By Thursday, we're in the low 80s. By Friday, we're in the upper 80s. And on Saturday, there's a potential to hit 92 degrees. So we're going to have a 30-degree swing. We're going to have wet weather to very dry weather, and there's going to be plenty of sun. So we get through the beginning of the week. Stand by for the heat and the air conditioners needed for next weekend.
90 next weekend, Mark. Wow. Yeah. Thanks for that. Well, drivers going through Riverfront Park will see major traffic impacts starting on Monday. The southbound lanes of Washington Street Bridge will be completely closed, and only one lane will be open for drivers heading north. City crews will replace bridge expansion joints and the deck overlay. Construction is expected to last until August, and drivers should use Division, Monroe, or Ash instead. Meanwhile, the Freya exit on I-90 won't reopen until June 17th. It was supposed to reopen on Monday, the 3rd, but according to the city of Spokane, the recent rain has caused delays because of the intersections. They're being built in concrete.
Well, the Spokane Velocity have struggled as of late, but starting tomorrow evening, they're going to have a great chance to get right in a historic matchup. Coming up in sports, we preview their game against a young and hungry Chivas team and what they got to do to finally get on the scoreboard.
Live stream KXLY Plus on the 4 News Now app.
Time now for your pathway to retirement. Dave Altmaier is the founder and president of Altmaier Financial Group. Now, inflation, it's emerging as a serious concern for retirees. We've seen this happen, but we need to know how to address the possibility of inflation affecting our income later down our retirement years. Dave, tell us about this.
Yeah, and this has become more important recently. And so the average rate of inflation, the price of everything doubles every 24 years. Another way to put it is simply you're going to pay more in the future for the same stuff. We've seen higher inflation, and we've seen it what we call transitory. So it's gone up, it's kind of come back down, and I think it's going to continue to do that. But overall, long term, we're going to have more inflation.
Okay, this really speaks to our need for income, consistent income in retirement. You know, when we're working, we get raises, right, to offset inflation. How do we handle this in retirement?
Well, one simple way is take a look at what you have, what we call lazy money or safe money. So if it's in a savings account or a money market account's getting 1%, there are other options out there with interest rates that are higher now.
Okay, and maybe explore those with an experienced advisor. But I know this is a big topic. You brought a great resource. Tell us about this.
Yes. So in the middle is the book that I worked hard on, and it talks about mountain climbing and that making it to the summit is optional, but making it back down is mandatory. And then there's other books on hot topics for today.
That's right. It's your Money Freedom Toolkit. It is yours free today. You can call, click, or text to get it. And we'll see you back here next week.
Everyone's itching to win Northern Quest's Scratch and Win GMC Sierra giveaway. With $520,000 in cash and prizes up for grabs, it's only natural. But instead of a log, tree, or communal bush, all you need is your Camas Rewards card. Play daily to earn scratch tickets good for reward play, bonus points, hotel stays, and maybe a brand new GMC Sierra pickup. That's an itch we'd all like to scratch.
Diamonds and Dreams is proudly sponsored by Dave Smith Chevrolet in Kellogg, Idaho.
Well, behind me, One Spokane Stadium is quiet and empty, but tomorrow evening it's going to be anything but that as the Spokane Velocity get ready to end a 5-game homestand. But tomorrow, going to have a very different feel to it compared to their previous games, as they're going to be welcoming in Chivas de Guadalajara U23 from Mexico in the franchise's first ever international friendly. So with that, the stakes not nearly as high as any league matches or USL Jägermeister Cup games. So their standings in those won't be affected. But still, the team would like to have a strong showing, and that starts with getting their offense jump-started. The Velocity haven't scored a goal in more than 180 minutes of play. However, they aren't changing anything in their approach to the match this week, and head coach Lee Wiedemann remains confident in his squad.
We've got to look at this from this perspective. How can this help us? That's the most important thing here. We have a large gap between games. It enables us to get a pretty high level game in. And we're playing in front of our fans again. That's probably going to be sold out. You know, there's so many things here that's going to benefit us, and that's what's most important.
Obviously, we're an expansion team, so earlier on in this season, it was the first time we had played a lot of people so far. So it's not a new experience. It's something we've been used to so far this season.
Now, kickoff between Chivas and the Velocity is set for 6 p.m. tomorrow evening, so make sure to tune in to 4 News Now at 11 for all of your post-game coverage. Now, switching to a different kind of football, the Seattle Seahawks finished up their second week of OTA workouts, and we talked a little bit last week about the team having to learn an entirely new system and playbook under first-year head coach Mike Macdonald. But as challenging as that can be to implement, he says the team continues to improve as time goes on.
I think you can just feel it coming out of the huddle. Like, I think you can hear the defense, being ahead of plays more, anticipating things. There's things we're always going to chase, especially with the young guys. But I think when you start to see how it all comes together on both sides of the balls and the guys understand how it fits, I think you can feel that just by the speed about how we're practicing.
Seattle will wrap up their final days of OTAs this upcoming week, and then starting on June 11th, the team will go through a 3-day mandatory minicamp. And the Seattle Mariners continue to extend their lead in the American League West with a win against the Angels last night. Ty France came up with a go-ahead home run in the 8th to put Seattle up for good and improve to 32-27 as we enter the month of June. And they now own a 4-game lead over the Texas Rangers for first place in the division. Now, despite all of that, the M's still have a run differential of -6, so not great at all. They're currently underway with the Angels looking for that series win. And finally, yesterday, University of Idaho head volleyball coach Chris Gonzalez resigned amid an investigation into allegations of bullying with the program. But with his resignation, that investigation will now end. Now, those allegations were first reported in the fall of 2023 by the Orange County Register. And according to players, Gonzalez would pressure those who hadn't been cleared to play or practice by the school's medical staff to participate in matches. They even allege he withheld food from them after losses, physically pushed players during practices, and bullied and body shamed them. Earlier this year, a case manager was provided for the student athletes. That person would attend all team activities where Gonzalez was present and some where he was not. Gonzalez was only in Moscow for 2 years, and in 2023, the team went 1-27. Now, according to the Idaho website, there are 10 players on the volleyball team at this current time, but that could change as each player will get a chance at the transfer portal for the next 30 days. Reporting live in Spokane, I'm Alex Crescenti, 4 News Now Sports.
All right, Alex, thanks for that. A story we've been following for a while now. Meantime, it's going to be a great weekend to get out and enjoy the sunshine, especially next weekend, if you remember Mark's forecast. And if you're interested in fishing or hiking, we've got the place just for you. Fish Trap Lake is about 30 miles west of Spokane, just off of I-90. We'll take you there in this week's Air for Adventure.
We are at Fish Trap Lake Resort on Fish Trap Lake. This lake is a trout lake, so the trout season is the middle of April to the middle of October, so that our lease season corresponds with the trout lake being open, where the spots are rented for that whole 6 months, the middle of April through the middle of October. The fishing is awesome. It is the wildlife and game department stock it a couple of times during the winter, and the fishing has been great. It's a great fly fishing lake. And me being from the Midwest, I didn't know anything about fly fishing, so Mike's taken me under his wing and teaching me fly fishing as well, and I love it. We get a lot of spring runoff coming down here, and the lake, comes up and goes down, and a lot of wildlife. We have otters living down here, beavers, blue heron, eagle nest on the lake. I mean, the wildlife is really spectacular. A lot of people come down here and take pictures of all the different species of birds and things like that as well. So there's a lot of hiking trails up here on the BLM land that I walk quite a bit of it with my black lab. It's a very, very tranquil lake. It's very quiet. It's very beautiful. Yeah, it's awesome. It goes by fast, but summer is great down here.
Live stream KXLY Plus on the 4 News Now app.
Time now for your pathway to retirement. Dave Altmaier is the founder and president of Altmaier Financial Group. Now, inflation, it's emerging as a serious concern for retirees. We've seen this happen, but we need to know how to address the possibility of inflation affecting our income later down our retirement years. Dave, tell us about this.
Yeah, and this has become more important recently. And so the average rate of inflation, the price of everything doubles every 24 years. Another way to put it is simply you're going to pay more in the future for the same stuff. We've seen higher inflation, and we've seen it what we call transitory. So it's gone up, it's kind of come back down, and I think it's going to continue to do that. But overall, long term, we're going to have more inflation.
Okay, this really speaks to our need for income, consistent income in retirement. You know, when we're working, we get raises, right, to offset inflation. How do we handle this in retirement?
Well, one simple way is take a look at what you have, what we call lazy money or safe money. So if it's in a savings account or a money market account's getting 1%, there are other options out there with interest rates that are higher now.
Okay, and maybe explore those with an experienced advisor. But I know this is a big topic. You brought a great resource. Tell us about this.
Yes. So in the middle is the book that I worked hard on, and it talks about mountain climbing and that making it to the summit is optional, but making it back down is mandatory. And then there's other books on hot topics for today.
That's right. It's your Money Freedom Toolkit. It is yours free today. You can call, click, or text to get it. And we'll see you back here next week.
No matter how he got here, how alone she feels, how they've struggled to support their best friend. What's important is this moment, when they reached out and said, I can't do this alone. And we said, that's okay, we'll figure it out together. If you or a loved one needs support, our trained counselors can help you too. 988, anywhere, anytime.
Join us for the Medellin Falls Bigfoot Festival, June 15th and 16th.
There's only a few weeks left until Hoop Fest returns to Spokane, but today some are warming up and practicing in a mini version of the 3-on-3 tournament. Saturday afternoon in Liberty Lake, teams of 4th graders to high schoolers battled it out on shock draw courts of the STCU parking lot. This is the 3rd annual tournament, and it's setting a new record this year. 75 teams registered to play.
You know, and that was part of the idea, you know, apart from the fun and family and friends and stuff, is just, you know, I think a lot of young kids and parents, you know, want to give their kids a chance to get together, kind of get things shaken out for the big show at Hoop Fest, you know.
And there was also an exhibition game between the Liberty Lake Fire Department and the Liberty Lake Police Department, with each department having one win from the past 2 years. During the break, I was trying to convince Mark that he should join my Hoop Fest team this year. It's going to happen.
Bricklayer. All right, 65 for Sunday. Monday, it's going to be 63. Wet weather, 3/4.